Hello everybody and welcome to Blood Bowl. I'm Complacent Patrick.
I'm Sarah Kilo.
And we are watching Tasty Action versus Re-AWOOOOken.
For the last game of Week 10.
Yep, regular season will be done with this one, and appropriately, this is the one that decides who the last person into Group 1 will be to enter the playoffs.
And this is a great matchup to have that happen, where both teams are 13-30 and just matched right up and down the line. So, Tasty Action with 3 rerolls, Re-AWOOOOken with 4 rerolls. We're not going to see any inducements this time, unless somebody wanted to pay money to do it, and I doubt that that's the case.
I doubt they have the treasury to do it.
Air power. So this should, the rain shouldn't affect anything.
If it stays
I think
raining.
if it stays raining, right? We've seen it happen both ways. But overall, now that these teams have kind of developed a little bit, I think that they realize that they do have a passing game, but they generally prefer the ground game.
Yep. The rain will stick, as it is a perfect defense kickoff event.
Nice. And so we're seeing Tasty Action lining up for the kick exactly the same way that the Nonpareil Elites lined up against me in the last game.
It's a good setup. They're actually one space back. That's the only difference. But it's the same formation. It's good. Not that there's... the werewolves do have frenzy, so this prevents you from a push-off, and also gives you protection on lanes.
Right, and that's one of those good things, is you don't want that penetration through the middle, especially when you have... I feel like he's outmatched on his big guys. One ogre versus
two flesh
golems, but I think that he's forming up very well, and he's going to come in and play a good game.
Yep, good response there. He's kind of pushed back the entire line, put the white into a bad situation, and for the most part took back the line that he lost from that first turn.
And that's the problem, is you're always going to lose that line. And that's why it's really important, if you have the opportunity to receive the kickoff, do that against a team that's going to try to go over strength on you.
And any team, even if it's an agility team, so you can reduce their players before they get a chance to touch the ball.
Right. And that's a good point, because we look at it and say that Master Moose's team has a player that has caused a significant number of casualties, and I think that that's just because you're a strength 3 player doesn't mean that you can't do that really effectively.
Yep. Looks like over here on the left that Tasty Action may be too committed to the hit, and might leave this lane open, especially with that bonehead.
That's true, and I think that he went a little aggressive on that because the right side of our look at it is where the primary attack is going. But we've seen many times that reversal is really powerful, especially if you can get everybody on one side kind of engaged and try to work some power or some loose players on the other.
Yep. One issue, as we're seeing, though, the middle was pretty well open. Flesh Golem able to open it up. The Necromantic team, the coach opting not to give a good cage around this player, so we might see a loss of ball. And there it is.
There it is.
Strength 4 Blitzer, amazing player. And the ball is dropped. However, 3 marks from the Necromantic team and 1 from Tasty Action.
Right, but he was able to get that bonehead ogre over on top of it. So
yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah. But the question is, even though he throws his tackle zones, if he doesn't have a positive effect this turn or boneheads again, then he loses his tackle zones and loses any defense that he has on that ball.
But it doesn't matter, because -2 doesn't bother a werewolf.
And that block, so that worked out real well.
Ooh, one die is all working out. Not that one.
It's as if you're playing the computer AI. Just one dies for days.
So players getting pushed around. Bonehead's gonna put a damper on this situation.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Looks like all the blitzers tied up doing other stuff, and throws a couple die at the flesh golem and opts for the both down, I believe. I can't tell.
Chooses both down,
Instead
and
of
it
the
was
push.
and there was a block.
Maybe he thought he used the correct player because he had.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yep.
There it goes.
I thought it was weird that he used the lineman, but at this point now it's 2 turns back.
Right. All right.
Yeah, it's such ball.
Everybody had a shot at it.
That would take so long to calculate on a board. That'd be 10 minutes just there.
Yeah, with the pickup plus the bounce.
Yeah, you'd have to be like, all right, it bounces there. Does he pick it up? No. All right, it bounces that way. Does he pick it up? No. And it bounced.
It had to be 6 or 7 players, right?
At least, because it went basically like through like this one was like 6 players, but it bounced back and forth a few times too.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting.
So, I couldn't see. Was that a toss or was that a throw? Like, I guess he just tossed it that way.
I think that's what happened. And then a crit failure on the pickup, and now it's pretty exciting.
So we got this cluster over here, and then just an orbit of players. But now that's fixed. But hey, yeah. Pickup failed, but it jumped into guy's hand, and he's relatively protected, especially with this congestion.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's see somebody make the best of this situation. Because it's turn 7.
That was the strength 4 one. Whoa. Ooh.
Much werewolf.
Danger. Had he not taken him on the first one, knockout. Had he not taken him on the first one, it would have been a 2-die tasty action choice.
Oh, true. Yeah, it's a good point. That was an all or nothing blitz action.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we got? How many spaces to the end zone?
Looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1 go for it for... No, sorry, it's a blitzer. So no go for it's required. So better hit these guys.
Yeah, buddy.
But I guess
gonna have to free everything up.
Yeah, it's a really strong line. So I don't know if he's going to be able to get to him either way.
I think that's a good chance.
Oh man, is he going to do?
And I think that's
1 die with his white.
Well, you know what?
Remainder of Chris.
I like it. That's what happens.
Defender stumbles.
There it is. Ball pops out.
If that's your only chance, and a wicked throw-in. No touchdown will be had, but man, that touchdown was stolen.
Yeah, that was the second time my game as well had a throw in that made it all the way to the other side of the field for advantage. Mine just happened to be slightly earlier in the half.
And that's why I say, always place somebody in both backfields just in case something happens like that.
Yeah.
Could have potentially, especially with all that infiltration this way, could have potentially had something happen, but you can't really always plan on a wacky throw-in.
Yeah, but that was a really interesting half. I think that though some less than optimal decisions were made, I don't think that we really saw any grievous mistakes, and I think that the mistakes that were made were countered pretty effectively into both teams having a fair shot at a touchdown.
I will say that this setup is terrible. That leaves an open lane right down the middle with no dodges for everybody. But he's going first, so he might be able to fill it. But yes, continue. No,
I think you're right there. That's a pretty rough spot. But when you get both teams have a shot at a touchdown, that means it's a pretty exciting half. So we like watching that. We can appreciate the fact that it's a little bit frustrating for the teams involved. But
for that first half, I don't think all choices were optimal. But I didn't see anybody make any stupid decisions, so I consider that a good drive.
Yeah, I'm with that. So is that that's the first injury?
Yes, that was a broken jaw for
Nice.
Blitzer, no retreat, no sushi rules.
All right.
Broken jaw should just be mixed next game. Getting pushed into a pocket and getting put down on a 1-die with no block against a Blitzer.
Well, there's always that then, huh?
Ooh, hey, regen. Just kind of trots off the pitch.
And he walked off the right side and immediately ran to the left.
Yeah. Blood Bowl pitches are like Pac-Man, bro. So an unfortunate pass in the rain.
Yeah, well, we've seen it work before. You can't bank on it.
No, but I mean that probably should have happened. But just just a little bad because of the rain.
Right. And that's the important factor, is that rain is a concern, but it's just a negative one. So if you feel like you're set up in a position where you can take that negative one, absolutely go for it. It's the same thing as picking up a ball in a tackle zone. It's a calculated risk.
Mm-hmm. And right now, really, the only presence he has is a zombie and a ghoul bothering him. So it shouldn't be that difficult to get this ball and get out of there. Ooh,
There you go.
Except for those twos. Rapid twos.
That's tough, and he did a really good job of moving bodies off of that ball.
Yep, that was really good play. Did good. So far, it's one of those games where he's making a lot of good choices, but he fails the rolls right at the bad time.
And that's tough. But I think that what you said is perfect. Is both coaches are making really good decisions. They see the angles that they need to attack, and when hey, you know what? You fail. You can. You see you're failing on a 1. That's what happens. But
yeah, one of the big differences between this game and chess is that doesn't always mean the winner is not always the best coach.
True. Fractured arm. Uh-oh, that's another one.
The regen did not take it. I think that was a Zmobi. Yeah, Zmobi with block, so that's a miss next game. Ooh, coming down the lane. Defender stumbles, opts to use his reroll when it was 2 pushes. I guess if you have block, that's a pretty good move, but so does this one. So don't know if I would have spent that last reroll on something like that.
Fair play. I just really wanted that ball out of that guy's hands.
Yeah, but didn't play any safeties or anything before committing to all this, so...
I think that's going to make the difference, is that not having that safety, and you're trying to chase down a character with tackle who's got a movement allowance advantage on all of your players.
Yep. With blodge.
And that's really tough.
Yep. No rerolls.
There it is. Yep.
Yep. Block, and then his dodge is not very difficult. Could pull this lineman off to make it worse, but we'll see if he does it. Nope.
There goes.
So, and opting to actually go for the blitz to get him out.
There you go.
Yep.
Came down to rerolls there, I think, huh?
Yeah, probably bad reroll management, and I think the actual huge factor was no safeties.
Right. Because you look at it and goes, hey, it was a 1-die block on a blodge, and he rerolled 2 pushes.
He had 2. It was a strength. I think it was a strength. No, the strength 4 blitzer side. He did have 2 dice though. His first result was when he did do the reroll on the turn before. It was 2 pushes, and then he got a defender stumbles and a both down, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
it was against the same character, so it was the same results against the same character. Whether he used the reroll the first time or the second time, it still came out nothing for him. So
yeah, I think the big deal was the safeties against a blodge character. If you don't have tackle, you have to assume you're not going to put him down.
Agreed.
There's only one result that will put him down.
And we've been seeing less and less of those lately, I think, is the defender downs. I think especially in my games and even kind of watching some of these guys, it's gotten to the point where
it's like a 1 out of 6 chance.
Yeah, it's almost as if it's a 1 out of 6 chance.
As we say it, the Beverly's Cupcakes rolls a defender down.
Perfect.
Now, I will say I've played games where I felt like the defender down was on 5 facings on not my dice.
Right.
But they're far and few between. Like maybe 1 out of 15 games, so I just feel like the person against me is just rolling only defender downs.
Right.
And it's usually,
Hey!
intercept. Man, I don't want to be that guy, but it looks like these rolls are in favor of old Necromantic right now. That was bananas.
Bananas. I like the fact that he was able to get that touchdown. I mean, I hate that Tasty Action had to throw an interception to do that, but I like to see that those interceptions every now and again because they've been so rare in the first season of the league, and we've seen significantly more of them in the second section.
Well, I think the big deal is the first season nobody passed.
Right.
And seeing a pick six like that's pretty fun. But yeah, man, that was decidedly. I thought that both coaches played about the same skill level. It's just it appeared that every time Tasty Action had pretty average rolls, but every time that the roll really mattered, it was a 2 or a 1.
Right.
And then other than self-induced 1 dies, I didn't really see Re-AWOOOken really failing anything.
True. I think it was good Blood Bowl.
Yeah, good